What's up, everybody? I'm Lisa,
I'm Brando.
I'm Big Mike.
and this is Brewheads.
You damn right.
And the Lord said,
Brewheads! We are here today at Broken Symmetry in lovely Bethel, Connecticut
Yes,
with...
Rachel.
All right. I didn't know your name. I just wanted you to say it.
Who is
nervous for a minute.
Yeah.
also
I'm the executive director of the Connecticut Brewers Guild.
There you go.
An honor and a joy.
Yes. Must be easy. Easy work.
Super easy
Yeah.
work,
Oh,
yeah.
That's why we do it.
You know what? Actually, the passion for it does make it a lot easier. Like, if this were somebody just coming off the street that doesn't know anything about our industry, I think we would have a really big problem.
Yes.
Because, the people are what make the industry so good, so unique. And I do have a passion for that.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to. Absolutely, yeah.
Because it's a lot.
Oh, train.
The train. Has it been a year already?
It's
Or
been
over.
It's been more than a year since
wow.
I became the
Yeah.
executive director. Well, I would say that I did have about a 9-month window of us trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah,
So, but from the beginning of all that time, it was September of 2022.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gone really
Yeah,
fast.
yeah.
It really has. Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
fast.
I mean, time flies when you're drinking beer.
I guess so. Yeah.
True.
Don't mind if I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not drinking?
I'm not drinking. I'm staying sharp for these
staying sharp.
hard-hitting
Yeah.
questions.
Hard.
He's worried about the hard hitting. We're not that tough.
No,
We-
we're
we-
very easy.
We make
Yeah.
life easy. With
That's
the beer.
I think that's our job too, is to try to make life easy with the beer.
So let's start with the brewery first, and then we'll go back to the guild because,
Sure.
she's a woman in the industry.
Yes.
All of this. So let's highlight
Yes.
that because National Women's Day just passed.
Yeah.
We'll just say we're filming it on National Women's Day.
It'll be next year by the time this comes out anyway.
Pretty much.
Oh no.
No,
No.
Don't say that.
before the fest.
Yeah, it'll be sometime between now and one of the fests of this decade.
No.
We have a lot of women that work here in this brewery, but I know a bunch of them. Even now our board has a bunch of women on it too. And I love the fact that beer is not just for one or the other. And in fact, if you go back far enough, women were the brewers, right?
Yep.
Women were the ones. There was the first person ever put hops in a beer was a woman. This was something that was just done until men realized that the women were taking all their money, and then figured out
That's usually how it goes.
how to get in on that.
So what brought you into beer, though?
What brought me into beer was Chris Sanzini, the owner here. We were dating for a long time, and then the pandemic happened, and he said, "You already know how to do all this stuff. Why don't you come work here?" And my industry, the film industry, had shut down. Nobody could be in the same room together.
Right.
Yep.
Even if you go back, I was working in commercials, but if you had looked at some of the commercials from that time, they were all like pulled from Google image searches or like TikTok videos, or I don't even know if TikTok was around then, but like, something along those lines. It was found footage being made into stuff. And so my industry just shut down. And I thought, oh, hey, I could do this for a little while. But you can take the marketing, or you can take me out of marketing, but you couldn't take marketing out of me.
Yeah.
So, we started. It was about 3 months before I was like, right, we need to can it. we need to get some merch in here.
Yeah.
We need to, how are we doing all of
Yeah.
this? And luckily, the team here, which is mostly comprised of women, we're all aboard, basically. Yeah. It was cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
All aboard.
All aboard.
That
Yes.
may be the title of this one.
All aboard.
I will
agree.
not break out in song every time I hear it, I promise.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
welcome.
It's a train station.
It is.
Yeah.
Like legit. Like
Yeah. This was
This
a train
is-
station.
Yeah, this was a train station. It's a cool place to be. I call it the Bermuda Triangle of Bethel because we're kind of in the middle.
in the middle, yeah.
of everything. But there's a lot of history in this town, and this building was built at the end of the 1800s. It had burned down, and they rebuilt it at the end of the 1800s, and everything here there's like history everywhere. So this is the chimney
I was going
that
to
was
just
used.
ask that.
Yeah, the backsplash to all of the banquettes there. That's the original flooring of the train station.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about how much history is in beer, I just taught a class to our staff about this, that, beer is, they've found evidence 13,000 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pre-agriculture at this point. And so every time we take a step in advancement in civilization, I feel like beer has always been a
Always
big
been
part of it. Yeah, absolutely.
Hence the I drink and I know things.
That's where all the ideas come
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
Little drink, little ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it also makes it super palatable to talk to people that you would not normally talk to,
Yeah.
right?
Very true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very
So I read these
communicative.
guys.
Yeah.
I think
Lots
community.
of conversation is sparked from beer.
I believe our entire nation came from a conversation over beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually how it goes.
We should do this differently.
Yeah.
I would
should-
think that beer today is much better than the beer they were, writing the Declaration of Independence over.
I mean, I would like to think that the beer that we
Yeah.
make is better, but at the time they had what they had, and that tea didn't get thrown overboard sober. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh
no.
yeah. No.
That was a drunken idea
Yeah.
and then a drunken night.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep. They got the liquid courage and just,
Well, we'll find out when it happens again.
yes.
But
Not far off.
I believe that places like this, and we have a bunch of them here in Connecticut. There's 120 breweries here in Connecticut.
Yes.
That this is their community centers. This is where you would
Yeah.
come to have those ideas, to meet with family and friends, to go through these experiences together, and keep us connected in a world where we are becoming further and further apart.
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, I was having a conversation today about one of my associates because, I'm always at a bunch of breweries. We're always going someplace.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, that's just so boring. You go and you drink. It's like, yeah, it's called you go, you drink, you talk to people. It's called being sociable.
Yeah.
Just connect.
Something
Yeah.
your 21-year-old ass probably has no idea what to do with.
Probably someone who never played outside as a
Yeah,
kid.
it's like you gotta. That's the whole point.
This is a very good point that you just brought up, and it just clicked with me. So I was just talking to Untapped this morning, and they said that their market 30 and under for beer is very small.
Yeah.
It's like the tiniest
Yeah.
contingent. And it might have something to do with how they view social connectivity.
Yep.
It really is.
Yeah?
Because in all, like even my son, he's 14.
Sure.
He's got friends that they only see each other when they're at school. As soon as they get home, they're playing video games, and it's all That's it.
I dropped my bag. I was out the
Out
door.
the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when
And I
a
was
kid-
home at 6 because your mom
I
wouldn't
still
worry
don't like to
about
be
you
home.
Yeah.
if you didn't get home at 6. She would be mad at you
Yeah,
if you didn't
exactly.
get home at
Yeah.
6.
Better
Yeah.
be home before the streetlights come on.
Yep.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
you wanted to know where your friends are, you look for the house with the bikes.
Exactly.
That's where they
Yeah.
were.
We had a cul-de-sac at the end of our road, right? And we would all congregate because that's where the basketball courts were and stuff like
Yep.
that. But there was in fact a path through the woods at the end, which would lead you to a whole other development. So if your mom got down to the end and you weren't there, she's like, "What the hell are these kids?" It was we just disappeared like Field of Dreams. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's gonna be also in 10 years to figure out. Hey, are they gonna adjust or are they just gonna be still stuck in their?
Well,
their
I don't think
phones?
they've experienced enough sadness yet. I think they got to get into go through what we go through, and then
Well, but I think, like with my kids, they went through that phase where, everything was electronic. And now look at Brian. He's like Mr. Social Butterfly out there.
True.
yeah,
Yeah.
You figure it
Experiencing the
out.
world. Yeah, you figured it out.
You
Yeah.
figured out that people are the most important part. The connections that we have are the most important part of life. Yeah.
And
Agreed.
I think breweries is like one of the best
Great place to
places
get connected.
I mean, I've talked to so many people and my wife, she just now started going with us to breweries and stuff like that, and she fully understands. Oh, okay. And she's always looked at me like, how can you just talk to strangers? Like, well, everyone has one thing that they're all here for, and that's the beer. First off, so you got something to talk about.
There's already a built-in conversation
Exactly.
Yeah.
starter.
You already
That's
got something
right.
to talk about. You start talking about beer, then you start talking about how you got to this place to try the beer, and then
have you been to this?
Yeah.
Have you done this?
So
Try this.
It just starts.
And it's universal. It doesn't matter what state you're in.
No,
It
it
doesn't matter
doesn't.
what
No.
brewery you're in.
Or country you're in.
Right.
yeah.
It's, did you try this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
Yeah. And that's not just something that's for the guests that come in here. we do that too. So like the guest will come in here and say like, this is a great porter. And we go, if you like ours, you should try the one down the road.
Right.
Which doesn't happen in any other industry.
No.
Right.
No.
Any other business.
No.
We are connoisseurs as well.
Yeah.
And we are excited about what the places around us are putting out, what their vibe is, or, you know, if we get along with another brewery, we try all of their beers
Right.
too.
Yep.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
Well,
there's
and
no
that's the beauty.
Go
It's
ahead.
they said sorry
No.
that you guys support each other.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of the very unique industries where you're not
Yes.
going to see. It's very rare, if ever, that people are out there bad mouthing another brewery. It's family. It's
Yeah.
you know how many of us say it all the time. Beer fam.
Right.
Yeah.
I say it when I send out my emails to the guild. I go, hello, brew fam. Yeah. It probably annoys half of them, but it doesn't matter. It's fine with me.
I love
Do you
it.
lose sleep?
Yeah. Probably.
Well,
not.
I was just saying, I was just on the phone when you guys walked in. I was on the phone with Dave Williams of Bump Williams Consulting, and they are the national analytics for beer in the country. And we're talking about legislation coming up and stuff like that. But I said, you know, Budweiser is a brand, right? And then there's Miller, and that's a brand. But when it comes down to it, craft beer is the brand.
Brand. Yeah.
Yeah,
very true.
we're not looking to try to differentiate. Although all of us have different business models, we want to be craft. We
Right.
want to be seek the seal, the independent label. The you know the for Chris, it's like he's back there brewing 5 barrels at a time. And we roll cans by hand.
Yeah.
You know, every beer that you have is made with a lot of care and love,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So when we hand it over to you, is he being too loud? By the way,
No.
Okay.
There's a
This will be
So-
the
there's-
easiest interview you ever do.
there's a noise reduction in the so it'll take out any background.
He just wants to be part of this podcast.
And yet somehow I don't get removed from any of the background noise. You
Well,
still
your
let me
foreground.
babble.
Yeah, we do.
We always do.
That's why you have the shirt.
Your babbling is important.
I do babble important things sometimes.
Yeah. If you talk long enough, something's gonna
Yep.
come out.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that's usually what happens.
That's usually
they let
what
me,
happens.
Yeah, they let me talk for a good 45 minutes and I'll say something funny and they'll be like, well, that was worth
There's the
45
clip.
minutes.
Yeah.
There's the clip. We'll just insert it.
That's very funny. That's very funny.
Yeah, I think it's a great industry. Like Mike and I come from the car industry. You know, if you go to say Stop and Shop, they're not telling you to go to Big Y because try their bread.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, no one at our dealerships is saying like, "Hey, go check out CarMax," and CarMax isn't saying, "Hey, go check out Leah Hyundai or Key Hyundai or wherever we've been." You know, there's no camaraderie.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, there's breweries that we didn't like. We always say like we went to Little House and Little House told us about High Nine. We would have never known about High Nine if it wasn't for Carlos saying, "Hey, have you guys been to High Nine?
Yeah.
What's this High Nine you speak of?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh man, they're great. You know, they're just literally right down, and they're literally like a mile away."
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's one of the great things that, you know, with the beer industry. Everyone's in it for mostly the love. They all came into it originally for the love.
For the
so
love.
they're willing to share
Yeah.
that love.
And Chris always says that beer is family. Like it's a metaphor, right? Beer is beer, right? And it's good. And there's a lot of styles of beer, and we can talk about the styles and what makes them different and,
Yes.
and the super interesting parts about beer. But in fact, beer is the metaphor of the thing that brings us together for these types of conversations where we need to have, you know, we need that community connection. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was so scared I thought it went away. We're good. Good.
What went away?
I thought my phone's being stupid. It was just like, I'm disconnected, but it still kept
It's-
recording.
It's the iPhone. So.
No. You know what it is?
What?
You got your Android too close.
Oh,
to
my
the phone.
Android's too close to your phone.
Yeah.
Lordy me.
It's our yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a trader. I went from Android to
Yeah, you
iPhone.
did.
Stop.
I
Who
did
cares who's
the
in my
same
yard?
thing.
Is this an Apple commercial that we're filming?
I was
We're-
gonna
we're
say,
trying
is this
to.
what
Yeah.
we're turning
Yeah,
this
we're
into?
turning-
Yeah.
is,
Yeah. You can
Phone
send it
wars?
over to Tim Cook. I'm sure that he will pay for sponsorship. You
Tim
know?
Apple.
He might.
Send it over to Tim Apple.
Which was Tim Apple?
It's not Tim,
No, Tim Cook.
Tim Cook.
Yes, Tim Cook.
Is he like CEO now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
he's been.
I thought he was thinking of Jim.
that's Jim.
That's
I got a good
different
story
Cook.
about Jim.
Oh,
Yes. So I would say, so last August, we went up to Sam Adams for a brewbound talk, sorry. And we were invited by Sam from Dogfish Head.
Yeah.
And all of the guild leaders from the surrounding states went. It was great. I got to meet all of them. It was really fantastic. But we talked a little bit about what the market is facing and how we can change things. And it was like a panel discussion to start with that turned more into back and forth about what can be done, right? But it was, I don't know if you remember last August, but it was about 1,000 degrees outside.
Yes.
And we were outside Sam Adams, sitting, trying to huddle under the tree, to get like some of the shade. And Chris had to leave to place an order. And if you can imagine, I was sitting in the front of this table looking at the panel, and one of our owners, Kevin, was behind, and Chris's seat was empty. And Jim Cook came over, and he goes, "Is the seat taken?" And Kevin definitely did not know who he was. And he goes, "Yes." And I was like, I turned around so fast. I was like, "Oh my God. He owns that seat. Just let him have that seat."
He can sit. He can sit there.
It is his seat.
That's the first time he's been told, like,
Shoot. I was like, "Okay." And he moved along, but I was like,
God.
I was mortified. And when Chris came back to the table, I go, "You'll never believe what Kevin just did." I was...
I would have let him take my seat.
But I didn't hear it till after it was already in play. I wasn't there. I was facing the other way. It was very funny, It was good.
That is.
Has he lived it down yet?
Oh, we were about it occasionally, but, there's many other things that Kevin has done that we could really we love it, but
Got it.
Yeah.
So how has it been this year? Because this year has been kind of like a tough, end of last year, beginning of this year, has been a tough year for a lot of breweries. How has it been for the guild to try to help breweries or
Just
try to
came
get
through
things,
dry
try to
January.
get things done?
So over the past few years, we'll go back a little bit. So during the pandemic, we had a lot of support for local businesses, right? You would see people with their trucks pull up and like eating and drinking out on their truck beds in the parking lot. People didn't care to be outside in the elements. They just wanted to be near a place. They definitely supported local as much as they could, but a lot of that had to do with like they had free time. And also the government was subsidizing a lot of unemployment checks, which they should have, to be honest with you, they should have. But, free time and a little bit like free money, right? So, and that was really great for a lot of the local breweries. It also meant that the wholesalers came in and snapped up a lot of little local brands, which they normally probably wouldn't have done. And it was great until about October of 2022, I would say. And then in January, I'm looking back at October going, what happened here? And that is when they stopped supplying those unemployment checks. All of a sudden, I would say our cans to go dropped in half for the month. And all of a sudden, things were trending in a different direction very quickly. And then we were getting numbers for like national numbers that were saying beer was down 30 to 35%. And now you're like, okay, well, if that's happening nationally, what's going to happen here in Connecticut, right? So now everybody is on the back foot. They've all thought beer was going in one direction,
Right.
And now we have to switch tact, and we have to decide what's best for our business models. As to how
Got
to do it.
accustomed to the...
Yes. And there were certain things that happened in 2019. We had some legislation changes here in Connecticut. We had a permit, your beer manufacturing permit here, when you apply for it, it used to be that it was like a tavern permit. You could do anything you wanted out of it. You could sell any other alcohol. You could sell your food out of it, right? And you'd have one fire marshal inspection, one health inspection, all that stuff. In 2019, I think that the Connecticut Restaurant Association was worried that, breweries were exploding and that they were going to take some of that restaurant business. So not all, I think only 16 breweries became actual brew pubs. Right? But ours was one that started with the tavern permit, but in 2019 it had to change. we changed to the beer manufacturing permit, which allows us to make and sell our own beer.
Yep.
But then we also added a restaurant liquor permit, which is a full restaurant liquor.
Yeah.
Yes, it has its own fire marshal. It's got its own, they have to look to see whether you're approved for that with seating and kitchen and all that stuff. But it also means that I can sell whatever alcohol I want out of here. If I wanted to be a full bar, I could.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But there are some breweries that do not have a kitchen.
Yeah.
Right? And now what are they going to do? They've got their beer manufacturing permit, which allows them to make and sell their own beer.
Yeah.
But not it's the rule of the four top. If you got 4 people sitting down, what is the likelihood that all 4 are going to want beer?
Yeah.
You might have a girlfriend. You might have a friend from college that doesn't drink beer anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't cater to everybody.
Right.
So they offered something called the Connecticut Craft Cafe Permit, which allows you to purchase other alcohols, not the one you produce, but other alcohols that are made from Connecticut. You can't purchase any other alcohol. So if you wanted gin, you might have to get it from Two Roads or Litchfield Distillers or something like that. It's definitely against the U.S. Constitution to tell somebody that you can't purchase from an out-of-state supplier, but it's what was offered to us. They didn't offer us like a bar permit that we could subsidize. So now you've seen, since 2019, how many breweries have added kitchens.
Yes.
And that is the reason, because they want to be able to sell the other things that make a good deal of money.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right?
That makes a lot of sense.
Diversify.
Yeah.
More streams of income.
Yeah. Because, I mean, if you see beer is shrinking, you need to be able to diversify your portfolio, because you're one thing, all your eggs in one basket, that basket's starting to shrink.
Right.
Yeah, you need a way to diversify.
But let's think about this. How did these breweries start? They didn't start because a restaurateur was like, I know what I want to do.
Right.
They started because some guys were in their garage.
Yeah.
And they were like, dude, you know what we could do this weekend? We could make some dope beer.
Yeah.
And then they did it enough over a number of years, perfecting some of these recipes, enjoying that time together, that they were like, we could do this for real. We could quit our jobs, we could put our pensions together, and we could make beer for the masses and make them as happy, make customers and guests as happy as we are. But none of them, I don't think any of them in this state, were like, we want to own a restaurant.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because that's a different.
Yeah.
That's a different animal. That's a different animal all on its own. Yeah.
They're not chefs. They're not. They wanted to make beer.
And you look at the restaurant, like, I think of City Steam first. I mean, I know most people will go to like Willy Brew, but City Steam because it's closer, and I don't know, like the Comedy Club, like it's so many things all in one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To just stay afloat. Like, I think back to like when I was younger. Yes, I'm old. When it was Brown Thompson's, and
It was there was something before City Steam.
Brown Thompson's.
Yeah, when we
The whole
moved,
country existed.
when we moved to Connecticut, I think City Steam was just being built.
Yeah.
When we moved to Connecticut,
It's 80s, right?
yeah, 86, 87.
Yeah, they were early.
Yeah.
Might have been a little later.
Might have been.
Might have been closer to like 89, 90.
Could have been. I don't want to.
But you weren't alive then, so you wouldn't know.
Nope.
Wasn't even born yet.
Yeah.
Wasn't born yet. No.
Lisa is in fact the youngest brewhead.
Yeah.
Look at
Look at you. That supple skin.
the olive oil.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, and then so all of these breweries have turned towards trying to figure out how to make things work, and some of that means, we'll turn into a restaurant. Some of it means we'll add other things. So here at our brewery, we've done a lot of events.
Yeah.
Right, and that's a thing that breweries are doing: music, comedy, crafting events. Classes. We did a charcuterie class here. You can look all through everywhere here in Connecticut has something.
Yeah, everyone's got events during the week and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And you usually using like local talent or local restaurants or local.
Yes.
Like they've been doing like yoga.
Yes.
They'll do yoga, paint and sip.
And
like
it's
the
great.
charcuterie thing.
It brings people who normally wouldn't come to the tap room in.
Right.
I would say that
And
more
it supports small businesses, other
and it
small
supports
businesses.
small business, and I think that's very important to us. I mean, anytime that we can do something that collaborates with, and I also believe that fundraising and doing community service for our communities is also really important to what we do.
Yes.
The beer that you have in front of you, Brando, we are donating twice with this beer. The hops goes to Homes for the Troops. The hop purchase goes to Homes for the Troops.
Okay.
And when we sell it, the proceeds go to the Veteran Equine Therapy Service in Stonington, Connecticut.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It was just free therapy for veterans.
That's nice.
Yeah. And I can't imagine a brewery here in Connecticut that would tell you the opposite. We're all doing work for our community.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that, because I was just reading an article, the guy who's going around doing the cancer fundraising.
Greg.
Yeah, so I was just reading an article, like he's a guy that likes beer, and he just went to a couple breweries and didn't even realize how, like, he was like, yeah, I just went to a couple breweries, and now all the breweries, they all want to participate in the fundraiser. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of how it goes in the community.
He called me and he said, hey, I have this idea. I don't know if it will work. I go, you know what the best thing to do is? Let's put up a Google form, see who wants to be part of it. I'll send it out, and then we'll go from there. And so he wrote up a thing. I sent it out. People started signing up, and now all of a sudden it's a reality.
Yeah.
All it takes is one motivated, passionate person to really make a difference, and our community really rallies around that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I know that last year in Connecticut, because we did a survey out, and the breweries that responded said how much they were, donating, and it was close to $3 million in donations with all the breweries last year.
That's
I love
really nice.
all of the ones that put the signs up. Don't tip us. We pay an honest wage.
Yeah.
If you choose to tip, it'll go to charity, or like that always makes me feel good. And like, I know it's not beer, but mead, Talon, they list their actually, Little House does it too.
Little House does it too.
Announce where your tips are going to, so you can choose to donate accordingly.
That's cool.
Which I always think is nice.
Yeah. We do tipped credit here. We it's a restaurant full as well. So we pay people the tip credit. But, I don't think anybody in the state is earning less than $30 an hour, even with that tip credit. The tips go to our employees. But, the laws are possibly changing on that too. Right. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
There it is. Here we go again.
Right as the train.
I know, right?
Yeah. Can I go get a beer?
Go get a beer.
Please.
Go get a beer.
Thank you.
Because maybe some hard-hitting questions about to pop up.
So she got the beer. We asking?
All right.
What's the question?
What's on? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You're
edging to go.
About all the legislation.
You're edging to
there's
go.
a lot of.
We did start talking about the permits, so that is something that we would love to change.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. We would love for people to be able to purchase out-of-state products, or whatever's financially reasonable. It's not like we're going to stop supporting local. That will never happen.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's only so much Connecticut produced.
True.
Stuff,
right?
Right.
There's only so much Connecticut wine. There's only so much, and oftentimes we'll have something like. Here's a story I heard from a brewery that there was a wedding that requested the brewery as their venue, but they wanted the brewery to bring in like Moet and Chandon champagne, and they said, "Yeah, sorry, we can't.
Yeah,
we can't do that
legally. We cannot.
We cannot bring that in." And before the conversation could have gone any further, where they could have said, "Like, here's what we can bring in, or do you want to get your own, and we'll figure it out." They were just like, "Okay, we're leaving. We're going somewhere else." It like stopped the conversation.
Wow.
And if you have a wedding, that's not just one or two people.
No.
That's a lot of people, and that's a lot of business walking out your door who
Yeah.
said that they wanted to be at your venue and drink your beer. They just wanted this one little thing.
Yeah.
So
couldn't do it.
yeah, it's a hard for me. It's a hard pill to swallow to see, breweries having a hard time because the products that they can bring in are either cost prohibitive or they're scarce or they just want to do something one off. You know what I mean? There's already so much red tape around what we do. It's really hard to see. And again, none of us really want to be restaurants. So, I mean, when somebody walks in and is just like, I would like a beer and a glass of wine, and you can't get,
Yeah.
you're charging them $20 for that glass of wine because it came from Connecticut,
Yeah.
and it's not what they want. It's really hard.
And how long are they staying?
Yeah.
If you don't have what
They
they,
want.
want,
Right.
how long are they staying?
They're-
So one person might come
Yeah.
and want like one of everything on the menu,
Mm-hmm.
but there's nothing for their friend or, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And we would love to say, okay, if you guys have had 2 or 3 drinks or whatever and you're happy and you're ready to go, you're okay to drive. Or in our case, you know, there's a lot of places around the parking lot. It would be nice to be like, have you tried their chicken parm? Or
Right.
have
Yeah.
you know, you should go, if you're interested in pizza, you can walk right down the street and get a slice there.
Mhm.
Here, we would promote the other restaurants in our area, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
I think so too, because the entire essence of breweries is that small business support for each other, because that's what you guys are.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, take a handful of the breweries out of the 120,
Yeah.
take a handful out. The rest are small businesses that
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
trying to get by,
Mhm.
and I don't feel like Connecticut's laws are helpful.
They're definitely not in
from
that
distribution to what you can serve, and it all goes back to like what I think is like these old like riverfront dock laws
Yeah.
capacity. They were a
Yeah.
little antiquated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
where it was all union driven,
Yeah.
and that's not where we are as Americans anymore.
Interesting. That's an interesting perspective. I think, you know, when we can talk a little bit about the distribution model that you mentioned, that was put in place before craft beer was a thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
There
yeah.
were 9 owners of 89 breweries across America when those laws were put in place for wholesalers to be able to, you know, have those exclusive rights to the beer. What would end up happening is you've got like a big producer, and if they were mad at their distributor that week, they would just go to the next one down the road, and it became a game of war.
Mhm.
And they were the distributors were the little guys.
Yeah.
They needed some sort of like, listen, if you're gonna do this, you got to stick with us for, you know, a certain amount of time. Like, don't yank our chain, essentially. But the world has changed a lot since 1971.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, homebrewing was made legal in 1978 by Jimmy Carter. And then we've had several craft beer booms.
Yeah.
One in the 90s, one in the early 2000s. So I don't know. I think we've all changed, and we're all learning a little bit now about the new layout of what we can do. So if our brewery were to sign with a distributor and give them any number of our beers, we have a double IPA that's currently with the distributor right now. It means that we cannot sell that double IPA anywhere else but our tap room,
Yeah.
right? So we give up some of those rights that we have in our beer manufacturing permit, and we hand them over to a wholesaler. The brands that we don't hand over, totally fine. I could sell them
Yeah,
anywhere,
yeah.
right? But the ones that we hand over, those are exclusive lifetime contracts
Ooh.
that to get out of requires going to the state.
Ooh.
Yeah. You can't just say, I don't like you anymore.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't say
yeah.
that.
So you can't tell the distributor, the person that you're in, like, directly working with, we're not going to use you anymore.
No, you can say you're unhappy,
Yep.
and they have 90 days to kind of fix
Fix
it.
it.
But
Okay.
if they make any adjustments in 90 days, that's enough for the state to be like, all right, they did something. And then they can stop again. It doesn't matter. Yeah. And sometimes it works out really well. Sometimes
Right.
distributors and breweries have a really great relationship. They're not miracle workers by any
Yeah.
chance, but you know, but they are important and very valuable for our industry. We don't have trucks here. I can't just load stuff on a truck and
Right.
take it somewhere. So, but I'm selling. Here's an example. We sell our double IPA for less than like $2 a can to the distributor. But when it gets to the shelf, you're looking at $16.99 a 4-pack. Well, how did it get there?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
distributor put their markup on, their 30%. The grocery store put their 30% markup on. We see none of that.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and when you put it in a can, not only are you selling the liquid at a lesser price point than what you would be on a draft. But you're also paying for the can, the label, the lid, the pack tech, the trays.
Yeah.
The artist, if you have an artist that did the label.
Absolutely. Yep. So all of those things go into it. So the breweries, you can think about them now. The breweries that are relying on distribution here in Connecticut, that is their main source of income, not a tap room, that they have to produce in such large volumes to be able to make those thin. Exactly.
There's where your 12% model comes in.
Yeah.
To,
volume.
Volume.
And, again, everybody's got a different business model here in Connecticut, but, those are the people that are being hit hardest at this juncture. If they are not able to sell their own beer or have autonomy over their own product, and the distributors are also feeling the effects of this economy where they would like to shrink down their routes, shrink down their drop-offs, raise their minimum orders, to make it more cost-effective for them to be able to work. It just means that the little guys, they're the ones that are falling through the cracks, and we don't have the ability to go out and make it better for ourselves.
Yeah.
So how did that bill die?
Well, this year we asked for breweries under 60,000 barrels a year, which are the smallest of the breweries.
Okay.
Right? These are the ones that probably are less than 3% of what a wholesaler would even be selling out.
Right.
We asked if we could also self-distribute side by side with them. That's what we're asking for. We don't want to get out of the contract. We're sticking with it. We're not trying to change those state laws. We are just merely saying, if you can't make it to that vendor, that account, we can. We can help out our small businesses around us that can't meet the minimums or that can't wait a week for the drop-off. Yeah. That's really what it is. And it helps everybody. It helps, we close here at 9. But there's a lot of places around here that stay open till, midnight, 1 o'clock in the summer. Doesn't mean that they should not have our beer. Right? You can go across the street and get it. But if the minimum order is $350, then they only need 1 keg.
Right.
It would be very hard for them to get it.
So did it not get enough votes?
I think changing wholesale laws in general is a uphill battle.
Okay.
The breweries have, in comparison money-wise, the breweries have very little money, all stacked together to be able to fight any good fight. That's why the Connecticut Beer Fest is so important. It helps us fund our legislative initiatives. But the wholesalers have a lot more money in their bank account. They have somebody on the payroll that they pay to be an executive director. They pay their lobbyists. They pay, they can go to wine and dine the senators and the representatives, and they can ask for favors and donate to campaigns in ways that we can't.
Right.
But those same senators and representatives love to have, events at our breweries. So I know that we are just as important to them in different ways, right? I think it's really hard to change those laws. I think it's just super hard when something is that ingrained. And also that franchise law, that wholesaler law, that's the only thing that those wholesalers have to go on. That is their entire law. That's the only thing that they've got that's connecting them to their contracts. So any kind of crack in that armor means that there could be bigger cracks later on. So I got the camel's nose under the tent, right? It's the thing that could eventually bring it all down. Yeah. I think that's the fear. And I totally understand it from the wholesaler side. I just think that what we're talking about is the tiniest. I don't even think we will take anything away from their bottom line because
they're not going to those places.
They're already servicing the accounts that can meet the minimums, that are on the routes, that are willing to wait till the Thursday drop off or whatever. We're talking about the places that aren't getting that, and we certainly aren't talking about dropping off at Big Y.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that technically what we're asking for, we could if we wanted to, but
But
Well, no one wants to deal with that because
Yeah.
you're not just going to pull into your closest big Y and be able to sell something. You have to go to corporate and you have to do
Yeah,
this. And you have to
exactly.
talk to the buyers and then the buyers have to go. So it's not going to hit their huge accounts.
No.
Like, all you're really talking about is
the mom and
local
pops.
businesses.
Pizza
Yeah.
the pizza shop
local
across the
business,
street that
that's
wants a
it.
keg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
mom and pops just want to help the mom and pops. That's
Yeah.
it.
The wholesalers actually have them listed by number, so, or by letter. So an A or B account, those are the ones that are spending a lot of money, going
Yeah.
through
Right.
beer really fast, going through whatever really
Yeah.
fast. And then you've got the C and D accounts. Those are the ones that they're like, well, kind of divey.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't like that because those, I will tell you what they call C and D accounts are the people that are like us.
Us.
Yeah.
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 I will say that loud and proud. The C's and D's are us.
Yeah.
We are that demographic, and we are those ones that they don't care about because we don't produce enough money to impact them.
Right.
Together we do, but separately, each business and each person does not generate enough to hurt them.
Yeah.
And I'm not against, like, big business. I'm not trying to make it sound like, I'm
course not.
anti anything, but I said everything.
It's
Yeah.
not
Anti
anything.
everything.
Yeah.
I might be. But it infuriates me that, yes, infuriates.
Well done.
Thank you.
Is that a word you've had trouble with in the past?
No, it's just, like an anger word, and I didn't say hate or fires me up. It was just because the
Yeah.
professional side of
Yeah.
me is coming out.
Yeah.
It infuriates me
Yeah.
that there's these old ass laws that limit
That's the unprofessional
Yeah.
side.
That's
I
the
got it.
unprofessional,
Yeah,
right.
I
that
got it.
limit what businesses can do, because if your name was, and I'm just going to say Two Roads. Sorry, Two Roads. It's not a shot against
We
you.
love Two Roads.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But because Two Roads has the capability to be in Florida, to be here, to be there, to be
Yeah.
everywhere, be at every Total Wine, be at every, cool. But they're limiting your ability to do the same thing.
I would counter that and say even Two Roads has this problem.
Oh, absolutely.
Even the largest producer in our state
Yeah.
is still 3% or less of what their distributor
Correct.
is doing.
And they just look like a big dog.
Yeah.
because
They're
of their,
everywhere,
or
yeah.
even like a treehouse. Let's take it out of state for a treehouse that pops up here, there, this, that, and their business model. Congratulations, treehouse too. But it's still, that is like a 0.025%
Mm-hmm.
of breweries,
Yeah.
and the majority of the breweries that are just working their tails off, making amazing beer, because of the limitations, don't get to put themselves out there to attract more people.
Here's a statistic for you. Last year, craft beer across America was only 6 to 12% of all beer sales.
Yeah.
That's tiny.
Yeah.
All of craft
That's
beer.
that's
Sam
yeah.
Adams. That's
Yeah.
right. 6 to 12% of all beer sales was craft beer. The top 15 was 83% of that. So now you're looking at the bottom 2% of the rest of the 9,500 breweries left to fight.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking tiny.
Yeah.
Tiny.
Yeah.
And that's why when people say, I can't go to like more than one brewery in a day, drink responsibly.
Yeah.
Hit them all. Have half a pour, but just support them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys did 7 on Mike's birthday.
Yep.
I did 3 of those with you, and then
Yeah.
we just did 4
4
last weekend.
Yeah.
A beer at
We
a
love
place.
that though.
Yeah.
We love when people come in. They're like, we were just here, and here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
to have a brew venture, especially in Connecticut,
Brew venture.
Brew venture.
Brew venture.
Brew venture. Sorry.
It's my word. I
Yeah.
coined it. So
Brew
you have to
venture.
say it my way.
Especially in Connecticut. Connecticut's small enough where you
Right.
can,
You can
hit quite a few in a day. You can be all over in Connecticut in a day and still get home in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah.
So those are the
Has
cool
to be
things.
done responsibly.
Has
Yep.
to be done responsibly.
Yep.
Yes.
Everybody needs a Marquito.
Everybody go. Shout out to our DD.
But that's, you got to support because it's a tough business. It really is.
Yeah, and I also think that it's people sometimes think like wine or something like that is superior to beer. I think that there is some people who feel like it's an elevated drink, which is back from the Romans, but we will forgive the Romans. But there's actually hundreds of styles of beer.
Yes.
And they're all very different. And everybody has a different take on how they do them.
Yep.
And there's a lot, I feel like there's a lot of nuanced flavors, a lot of very sophisticated, complex flavors. Ones that have taken hundreds of years to develop. That one right there, to get that in that glass. Think about how many hundreds of years of development came to get to that. It was all worth it.
And I think every person who does all of the work to get that from there to here, because this is the only part of it I want. I don't want to do the work.
No.
I just want the reward.
You just want the rewards? Yeah.
If you think, I said this to my staff the other day. I said, so there's a farmer, he plants some grain, he waits the season, he harvests that grain, that's the whole ton of work, and then you send it to a maltster, and then the malting takes time, and then, that's a whole process, and then they put it into bags, and then they have to sell it to a distributor, a wholesaler, then that wholesaler is asked to come and bring it to you, then you mill it, then you brew it, then you wait 4, 6, 8, 12, 14, 16 weeks, right? And then you put it into kegs that have to be sanitized perfectly, or cans that have to be, no dissolved oxygen in there. You have to fill them perfectly. And then by the time it gets to the consumer, if you're putting it in a crappy glass, or you're pouring it through a bad line, it's like, why would we want to kill it right at the end of that year of making that seed into this beer? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, glasses are important. And I'm going to say that my biggest fault, I think, is that I don't appreciate the glassware.
Oh,
that's your biggest fault. You're fine. You're gonna do fine.
You're good.
You know what's funny?
But I want to understand why. Like, I understand the ABVs need to be in smaller, but the tulip versus the pub versus the now, like, you go into some places and they got the tall skinnies,
tall Pilsner glass,
and then they got the pints and the traditional pints, and they got the the mugs, and it's like.
That's also hundreds of years of development of what is the best, because you first you eat a beer first with your eyes, then with your nose, and then finally it hits your tongue, right? So you want to present it in the most beautiful possible way. For a Pilsner that's incredibly clear, you want it in a tall, thin something. Okay. You want to be able to see through it. You want to, because there's not a lot of aroma that comes off of a Pilsner. It's a lot easier to put it in a taller glass like this.
Display the artwork.
Display the artwork and make sure that everybody can see
it all the time.
Same girl, same.
Yeah, I display that proudly.
But for a Belgian, it's much better to have a tulip glass, which puts that aroma right in your face.
All right,
Or that nice Sam Adams glass with the little punch on the bottom that
get the bubbles.
Oh yeah, our glasses have them too. The
Do
little
you?
nucleation site.
Yeah.
They're a little logo that bubbles up from the bottom. It's pretty cool.
It's a chore for me to pick a glass before I drink. Because it's like what am I gonna drink? It's like, what's in the fridge? Because all my glasses are upstairs and the beer's downstairs, and it's like, what am I gonna drink? And I'm looking at the glass. It's like, all right, I'll take this one because regardless of what I'll get, this might work.
Yeah,
for that.
It's like a universal.
Yeah.
I was looking at customized barware. 3 just place that just Brewheads logo for us to sample out of, so that way we have those in front of us instead of whatever random brewery glass we have. I thought it would be cute. No.
What's
we
wrong
don't
with
have
random brewery glasses?
Listen, we don't have one of these beauties.
Actually, no.
Not this one.
Not that one. No, we do have.
This is such a hefty glass.
Yeah, we got
I know. I really
got
like
the tall
this one.
Yeah, the tall ones. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, this is.
We have some outdated breweries.
Yeah, we have a couple outdated breweries.
That's okay. So you pour one out for your homie.
That's it.
Well, we do that every time.
Yeah.
And we say cheers.
Yeah.
Sorry you couldn't be here with us. But
That's okay. And what I would like to see is that the breweries that we have here in Connecticut are able to maintain a very good outlook. And right now, because of some of the laws and the economy, and what people are willing to spend, it doesn't go very far.
Yeah.
I get it. We get it. We're all living in it. We just would prefer if our breweries could stay.
What's going on with the cans? Is there
What would
still
you
a
like?
can shortage going on?
No, aluminum is totally fine right now. The
So
supply chains have kind of come back to normal.
Okay.
Aluminum is doing good. They have raised some price on the aluminum.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why some breweries, without saying we're trying to prioritize where our finances go, are canning less. Okay, got it.
Yeah, canning less. And then you don't want to waste any beer. And like I said, I can put it in a can and I can sell it for, $4 or whatever it is in the can. But what will be greater for a brewery is to pour an $8 draft.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. I don't know what people are charging across the state, but I feel like somewhere between
That's in the ballpark.
No, that's
ballpark,
yeah.
$10.
Yeah.
Around 8 right now.
Yeah.
7, 8, something like that.
Anywhere between 6 and 8, because usually your pilsners and your lagers are a little bit cheaper, but the IPAs, of course, they're
Yep.
always going to
What are you
be.
drinking for $6 a pour? I might want to go.
I don't.
We got 7 here.
Back east had a cheaper one, cheaper.
What is it?
Yeah, their test depth is
Test
usually
depth
cheaper.
is cheaper. Yeah.
I don't pay attention.
Yeah, I
to
was about to
prices
say.
there.
I know you don't.
This is a very good question. When you are out drinking, do you care what beer costs? When you're out at a brew pub.
We are not
brewery.
the.
No.
We are not the.
No, this is a good question.
But for us,
I will tell
No.
you that if I walk into a place that I don't frequent normally,
right.
I will peep the prices, and I will tell you if you're trying to get $10 for a pilsner out of me, I'm gonna say,
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah.
this better be
Yeah.
magical.
yeah,
Actually, you know what? That's not true. So when we were at New Park, and we got the pilsner, and she said half or full, and we're just thinking, oh, a full pour. We had already been places, and then but she gave us a stein, and we were looking at the
yeah.
price. It was like, why is a pilsner so? And then it was like
Like a 24 ounce.
oh my
Yeah.
God, you didn't. That's not how you say. Do you want a stein?
Yeah.
No, you don't say half or full.
half
You're
is
like
not
16
this.
or 32.
Yeah. It's like, do you want it in a stein or you just want a regular pint?
32. That's a squealer. We've got those growlers up there.
Like I love the pilsner we had was great, but I
Yeah.
didn't want 32 ounces.
Yeah, it was.
It was like, give me
First of all,
16,
I
and then I'm
think
going to move to
let's
something
backtrack
else.
it. I think a stein is only 24 ounces. I was just being
Yeah.
snarky, Lisa.
I don't know.
No,
It was
we'll go
no,
32.
No, it was a big stein.
It was really
It was
big?
a big stein.
You can get them half liter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
It was a big stein.
Yeah.
And we had already been drinking.
Yeah.
It was one of those.
You see what happened was
No.
What
this
happened?
is- yeah. yeah.
So why? Okay, so this is an interesting thing. Pilsners usually take a lot longer in our tanks.
Yeah.
Like to let them to do what they need to do to get as clear as that.
Well, also you have a perfectionist brewing.
Well, I think a lot of even the breweries that make pilsners for a
Get that one brewery off your head.
the pressure farm one.
but you can't hide any flaws.
No, you can't. No,
in
no.
a pilsner
Speedo's
or
a beer.
or a lager. Like if you've got a lager and it's like perfect to style,
Yeah.
it's going to be a fantastic
Yeah,
brewery. That
yeah,
everything
yeah.
that they're putting out is probably going to be great if you can get that done.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
That's why
That's-
the first thing we always get when we go to like a new brewery is
You try a pilsner. Yeah.
It is the
Go for
first
the
thing that
Pilsner.
brewers will also get
Oh, yeah.
when they
Yes.
go
Yeah.
to a brewery. They're like, all right,
Because that's
you
your
can do this.
that's
Show
your
me what
brew,
you got.
that's your brew process. In all
Yeah.
honesty, if you can do a good pilsner, that means you have a good brewing process.
Right.
you know how to
Through
brew,
and
you
through,
know how to
yeah.
keep clean,
Yep.
you know how to lager, you know how to wait, you know how to be patient.
Because you can adjunct the shit out of a stout or a IPA to like
Hide any
hide any
imperfections.
imperfections.
I feel like the IPA. So most places, the New England style IPA. I'll say.
Yes.
We won't talk about other styles.
Yeah.
Because I love a West Coast IPA,
Oh,
but it's
yeah.
a different
Yeah.
different kettle of fish. But I do feel like IPAs are mostly about the hop flavor.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. There's no malt that you're trying to get out of
Yeah,
it. And here we take a lot of care in our New England IPAs because we don't really like that like horrible juice bomb burning at the back of your throat.
yeah, the
like that's
acidity.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Try
we
to
want you
minimize
to
that.
actually taste
Yeah.
those hops.
Yep.
You know, and after a certain point, you put enough hops in, and all you're gonna get is that
This.
That burn.
Hop
Yep.
burn.
burn.
Yeah.
Not heartburn. Hop burn.
Hop burn.
Hop burn.
Galaxy's good for that.
It depends how much you put in,
Yeah.
right? So I think, you know, there is a play that people have to have in their breweries. All of our recipes, and I'm sure everyone else's, has gone through many iterations
Yeah.
of trying to get that exact whatever they want out of that beer. You're not tasting the first incarnation of what
Yeah.
it is. I don't know. I guess I'm beyond the camcorders and husbands and boyfriends. I feel like now here in Connecticut we have a situation where we're like, okay, we have to, because you asked about the bill. We asked for all of those things where we could sell alongside our wholesalers.
Yep.
They couldn't do it this year. They had trouble finding a place for where it could be put. And changing all the wholesale laws are very difficult. We talked about that.
Yeah.
So I think it's just going to have to be a year of us trying to get the consumer aware
Right.
of what's happening. The reason that they can't find the beer that they want in
Yep.
their package store or at their local pub might be because the distributor can't get there, or they're making them order.
Too
More
much.
than-
Too much,
Yeah,
sure.
more than what they could actually sell.
Right, exactly. So, you know, we're hoping that our guests will see that there's an issue and that, you know, demand the good quality products out in the market and say, yeah, give us our craft beer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, is it like a full? So the bill that you're trying to push forward is just pretty much an amendment of the law, not really a change. Of
Yeah,
the law.
the only thing that we would change is that breweries under 60,000 barrels or, you know, 60,000 or less a year would be able to sell alongside their
yeah.
wholesalers. Yeah. Because already, if you're a Connecticut producer, a manufacturer, you're allowed to sell your product across the state. But as soon as you sign with the
distributor.
wholesaler,
okay.
that goes away. So we just want to make sure that our permit, what's given to us in our permit, is still in play here.
Now, did you say that? Is it only the beers you have the distributors? You know, you sign a contract with those beers, or does it become Broken Symmetry cannot go across the street and sell them a keg?
So,
Or is it only the
if you're
beers?
asking specifically about us, so a few brands that we have out in the market, one of which is our double IPA, the Nimbus. If somebody across the street, and I could see like 7 from here,
Right.
wanted the Nimbus, we could not take them a keg. They could call here and say, hey, we really want a keg of your beer over here. And we would just have to go call our distributor. In fact, that's happened before, where we say, call the distributor. Then they have somebody come on a Tuesday, you know, so now it's from Friday to Tuesday. Somebody comes, does fill out all this credit paperwork,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And then is like, all right, now I've filled out all that paperwork. Great. Well, your minimum order is $250. And they're like, well, we don't need $250. We just want,
Okay.
it's now
Okay.
a week later. We
Right.
just want this
Yeah.
keg of their beer because their beer sells in our area.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they go, no, if you can't meet the minimums, we're out of here. And then they leave.
So to equate it closer to us, that's Ice Cream Man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like we can't, Tony can't sell a keg of Ice Cream Man if we were to walk in there.
Correct.
We would have to go to the package store.
HDI.
Right. We would have to go to the package store, request through them.
Yeah.
And as long as they deal with HDI, we can get a keg from them.
If this were a health and safety issue, because alcohol is very regulated,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
For good reason. But if it were a health and safety issue, I think that there would be a lot more understanding from the breweries going, yeah, well, this is just the way that it is.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
You can't, we don't want anybody to get sick. We don't want anybody to get in trouble.
Yeah.
But this isn't what this is. This is a monopolistic law,
Yeah.
which just is advantageous for only one.
Right.
Yeah.
One side.
Because that's like a pizza restaurant having a specialty pizza that they have someone take out to other places, and then they can no longer have someone else get that pizza just because they signed a contract with that.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll put it in pizza terms. The Parties, who does sell their frozen pizzas,
Yeah.
they can't go to Stop and Shop and sell their pizzas by themselves. they have to wait for their distributor,
their-
who they signed with to distribute their frozen pizzas, to be able to sell those pizzas.
I think that might just be a case of not having the refrigerated trucks.
No, just say.
No, because I actually don't think the laws apply
No,
to
but
almost
just-
any other.
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
seriously?
That'll make me even more angry.
That
It is only beer.
beer.
It is not spirits. It is not cider. It is not mead.
Oh wait,
It is
Oh.
just
hold on,
beer.
hold on.
Wow.
What? That
True.
doesn't make a lot of sense.
Oh, really? Really?
now you really just like.
All right, so I think we got late to the party when we tried to like do those posts about like, you know, supporting, hey, read
Yeah.
the bill, write
Yeah.
a letter. How soon do you start as the guild preparing for the next legislative session?
Now we did. Well, I mean, because they weren't able to figure out the language. I don't think. I think they tried, and it didn't really go very well for them. So, you know, they know we're coming back next year, but that
Yeah.
also means that the wholesalers know we're coming back next year,
Right.
right? So it's just going to be a fight of trying to get people to see behind the curtain,
Yeah.
going, this is what's happening. And, you know, if you want these places that I call community centers to close, which I would prefer that they don't,
Right.
like, then if we want to keep that from happening, let's start a movement here. Let's talk about it with our senators and our reps. Let's send that email saying something's got to be done.
Yeah.
Times changed since 1971. It's been a minute.
For real.
Yeah.
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 Been 50 something minutes.
Yeah. Correct.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it
how
doesn't Tito's can be sold by several distributors, but not beer.
That pisses me off even more now.
Yeah, because I'm trying to understand how does that even happen?
In my mind, it makes it so difficult for the breweries to sign up and distribute. And then they have to choose whether they can self-distribute,
Yeah.
correct? And afford that, and you have to hire someone,
Yeah.
and you have to have the van, and you have to have all the
Insurance.
other things. Insurance.
Yeah.
Or you just don't distribute and lose that as well, and then
Yeah.
you're banking completely on
Taproom
Taproom.
sales.
taproom sales.
But
taproom sales technically are where, you know,
Right,
the,
right.
the,
But-
the profits are.
But just distros where you get your name out there
yeah,
without
So
word of
marketing.
mouth.
yeah,
And then taproom is when you make your money. But you know, getting your name out there,
But there are some
taste the
breweries
beers,
that-
and then get people to come in.
Yes, but there are some breweries that don't really have tap rooms, right? They
Right.
they
Yeah.
have like
Right.
something on their distro. You mentioned churros before, but you go in there and it's mostly distro, right? You've got
Yeah.
these huge tanks.
Yeah.
They're
Oh, yeah.
going volume like 100 barrels at a time,
Yeah.
volume, and they're still tiny. They are still a tiny brewery in comparison to, you know, we have Athletic here in Connecticut.
yeah.
They
yeah.
are the 15th largest brewery in America,
Yeah. It's
right?
crazy.
right?
Crazy.
But they don't have alcohol.
Yeah.
They take the alcohol out.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a food. It's basically like a.
It means that they can sell without the restrictions.
Yeah.
And they've done
Mail
it
it
in
to
a
your
short
house.
amount of time. Imagine if we took some of those restrictions away from what's going on here. Think of the
Yeah.
growth that could happen,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it's almost like a case study, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they have no restrictions, and look at how fast they grew.
They grew
Right.
fast because I
Yeah.
remember when they first came over here and their style tasted like an ashtray. But they've gotten so much better. It's gotten so much better.
5 years,
Yeah, in 5
Yeah.
5 to
years.
6 years since
Yeah.
we actually first tasted them, and all they would do is go to like Brewfest and
Brewfest,
like
yeah.
beg people to like try this because it was non-alcoholic to
They-
what they are now. It's
They have
incredible.
a niche, and we love them.
Yeah.
Oh,
We think
yeah.
that they're
No,
an
it's
amazing
a-
part of
it-
our brewery
And
industry.
It's such a great product now. Such a great product.
And the fact that they were able to grow so fast has a lot to do with the laws in
Yeah.
place
Yeah.
that of what they're able to do, how they're able to, they could sell on Amazon if they want. In fact,
They do.
They
do.
do.
Yeah, they do.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get my beer through
No,
Amazon. That's
no.
not going to happen.
I mean, and in all honesty, I remember when was it Tabor?
yeah.
When that app first came about 2-3 years ago, you couldn't even order through Connecticut. They just I think it was like last year or so, You can just
Let
now
the- let
order
those-
stuff. Yeah.
it's all interstate, shipping of alcohol.
Right.
And again, health and safety, definitely an issue.
Yeah.
We should definitely be aware of that. And people have, definitely gotten into accidents when they're under the influence and they don't know when to stop. But the majority of people are not that.
Right.
Yeah.
The majority of people are enjoying responsibly and not to just guzzle and get drunk, but to
Right.
taste it.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's an
to
experience.
taste it
Yeah.
for sure.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. We can go down all the laws and see why they're but it is a good thing to notice. Like, you see the exponential growth that a company with no restrictions has compared to
Yeah.
the ones that have
Because I mean,
had a lot.
in 5 years, man, they have. Yeah.
Built a new place. Well, they
Bought a new place.
bought a new place,
place,
built the
yeah.
place. Oh my God.
But they've also done a lot of community work too. They
Yes.
they
Yes,
follow
yes.
the same ethos as the rest of us. They're
Yeah.
also giving money to charity all the
Right,
time. They're
right.
also doing fundraisers all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're also in our guild. Like, they are working
Yeah.
hard with us. Even though their business model is very different than everybody else's.
Yeah.
So they're the biggest in our state. Two Roads is a small pebble in comparison.
My
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Yeah. When I saw, I was reading an article on the top breweries and I saw that they were 50. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for them though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they never knocked their hustle because they got it. I mean, they picked up their niche, they got their demo, and they ran for the hills.
Like, how about we brew non-alcoholic beer? Like, but we make it taste good. And it just went poof.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also think, I look at their branding and I look at who they're marketing to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a full buy-in of the whole culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
I am athletic. I do
Yeah.
go out. I do
Yeah.
take those, runs, and I do still want a beer at the end of it, but I don't want to feel
Heavy
the
and
the
bloated.
effects of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
alcohol. Or I used to drink a lot of alcohol, and now I've changed my whole life, and I'm in this other category now where I don't drink as much, but I still want to be social. I still want
Yeah.
those human
Right,
connections.
right.
So I'm going to have this with my friends while they're drinking their beers.
Yeah.
It is still that thing that connects us.
Yep.
Yeah. And I love that they have found a way to make people want to be a part of what they're doing.
Yeah.
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 Like, they made
stuff.
drinking non-alcohalic beer cool
They really did.
and
Yeah.
like acceptable.
Because I mean, O'Doul's was not really. That wasn't kicking it.
No.
Was it working for you?
My dad loved it.
They O'Doul's was made a very different way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So Athletic actually brews the beer
Yeah.
and removes the ethanol.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, that's what they do.
Yep.
Yeah. They brew it and then whatever cooking
Vacuum
aspect
something.
to get
Yeah, they remove the ethanol afterwards. So that means that they're making beer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, the process is they just have a process at the end to just remove all the
Right.
ABVs. Well, I think
All
it's
that
still
ABVs.
point
Under 0.05.
on 0.05. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Malta strength.
Malta.
Malta's 0.05.
Yep.
They say that there's more alcohol in your orange juice.
Wow.
Wow.
After a few
Okay.
Okay.
days, that stuff ferments. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drink more orange juice.
Yeah.
Leave it out on the deck.
You think those mimosas are filled with champagne?
Yeah.
It's just straight
It's just
OJ.
orange.
Straight 5-day-old orange juice.
Tell us about the Brewfest coming up.
Yes.
So this year we're trying out a whole bunch of different venues. So last year we were at the XL Center. This year we are at the Connecticut Convention Center.
Okay.
We're going from noon to 5 on April 20th.
Yep.
It is our largest fundraiser, and this is what people should know, is that if you buy a ticket, it is actually helping out all the breweries. It's not just one, not just two. Like, we are trying to change these laws. It goes to paying for our lobbyists. It goes to paying for, anything that we would need ancillary to help lawyers, to help us draft these laws that we can potentially put forward to help us. And the people who are there donating their beer, the breweries that are there donating their beer, is because they're doing it for this cause, trying to help the greater good, even if that means helping a brewery right down the road from them.
Right.
that's why we're all doing it. It's not some like money making grab for anybody. You're helping out us. That's what we're doing. So there's nobody who's profiting off of it, which is great.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good event.
It is a good event. Yeah. And
Always one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it is a good event. Are you guys going to have a booth? You guys want a booth?
No.
I don't think this year.
No,
I
not
think
this year.
Next year we will, because we'll have
Yeah, maybe next year.
money for enough merch
Yeah.
to set up. And
You guys should totally have a booth. Have this mic on and let people come by and tell you about their experience with the beers.
I love talking to people,
I can tell.
especially if
Drunken
there's
ones.
beer involved.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Oh,
The drinks will get brought to you instead of you having to walk around.
Oh God, you know
Oh,
she.
boy.
Yeah, you know she's so.
She's
The
yeah.
queen.
She's
The
she's
queen.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you could get an 8-foot table. You get a nice little situation going. Have people. You could have brewers walk over and give you little
Yeah.
sound bites.
Think
about it.
Twisting our arm.
Mhm.
Think about it. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Think about it.
Twisting our arm gonna make us.
We'll
work.
think about it.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
think about it. And then we're gonna say yes.
No. We'll think
Train.
about it.
Yeah. Choo-choo.
In the time that the train came by, did you think about it? Yeah, it's worth doing, I think, because you get good sound bites even
Yes.
if you only.
Actually, that's true. Yeah.
It's-
Because last year, 1056 did it, right?
Kind of.
Kind of. Yeah, I think they were there for like an hour.
Yeah.
Maybe.
they didn't.
Yeah, because they were there and then.
I think they went around to try to get some stuff from people, which is great. It's just I think if people don't know you're coming, then it's
Yeah.
a difficult thing.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
if you can tell people in advance that you'll be there.
Yeah.
Also, I would really love to know what our consumers think about our beer.
Yeah.
Not the people who are coming there to get blasted. The people who are coming there
Yeah.
to really understand
Understand.
what's happening on the other side of the state.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. I'd love to know what they think. Oh, it's keg time.
It's keg time.
Yeah.
That's the cask.
It's the cask.
Yep.
Yeah, shout out to Nod Hill.
Yes.
Cask
yes.
Fest is
Cask
coming.
Fest. I
Yeah.
messed up. I didn't buy a ticket in time.
You didn't buy a ticket in
No,
time.
I didn't buy a ticket in time. No.
You gotta buy a ticket?
Yeah, it's a ticket event. Yeah, it's a ticket event. And
You
it's
could-
already. I think it's already sold out.
Sure it is.
Chris
Yeah.
might need some employees to go work.
Oh, Chris might need some help. I mean, we're good for that. We're good for that.
We poured events.
We
I was
poured
gonna
events.
say they're excellent pourers.
Yeah, we poured events.
Yeah.
We pour, she drinks.
Yeah.
I talk. I bring people in.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I'm the energy
That's true.
that brings them in.
You're the energy.
Yeah,
I
It's
like
the,
this.
the Lisa
you should
Orr.
get a T-shirt that says "I'm the
The
energy."
I'm the energy.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but Hanging Hills booths are usually, steady, whatever.
Oh, here we
And
go.
then
Here we
Lisa
go.
walks over, and it's like the lines out the door waiting to have some fun.
Okay,
The
so
debauchery
Joe,
and shenanigans.
Joe
Yeah.
over at Hanging Hills. I haven't heard from him in a long time. And I look at my phone the other day,
Yeah.
and it says Joe Plouffe on it. I was like, oh,
Oh.
I'm so excited. Plouffe Daddy! That's awesome. And I pick it up, and there's nobody there. But I was in the middle of something, so I
Yeah.
texted him, I'll call you right back. And he wrote, I think that was my butt that called me. And I was like, well, tell your butt I said hi. I was really excited to hear from you. Yeah.
Oh, Joe.
He didn't really have anything for me to
No.
discuss.
No.
But his butt wanted
His
me.
butt. Yeah, his butt was.
Well, you know what? I mean, I think
Talking
that
shit.
his butt has a lot to say.
Well, his butt didn't call me back.
Well, I'd like to say I'm surprised. Right?
It texted you back though.
Yeah.
He did.
It
Yeah,
was-
his butt was very dexterous on
Yeah.
the texting. Yeah.
It was one cheek, then the other.
Yeah, it was very good. It's awesome. So yeah, I mean, if there's anything that you guys can think of to help the breweries stay in business, that's really what we're interested in doing as a guild altogether.
I don't think I can drink more. My liver.
It's okay.
Well,
You can
do
be
my
the
best.
energy.
I
Be
am
the
Yeah,
energy.
be the energy.
Well done.
I like
That was
that.
good.
That was good.
Yeah, be the energy. Just stand outside yelling at people in the parking lot.
Drink.
Get in here and drink.
I occasionally go out there and go, "Hey, Bethel!" see what happens.
And all of Bethel says, "Hey, Rachel!"
It's a very crickety response
Yeah.
sometimes.
She's doing it
We
again.
can try it out there.
Yeah.
She's out there yelling again.
Yeah. Sometimes, like on a Tuesday afternoon, we're open at like 4 o'clock, and it's not time yet. But I'll just go out there and I'll start. Hey, people walking from their cars. Where are you going?
We're open.
What you want? Do you need a beer?
Beer here.
Yeah.
You should have the sign like Jiffy Lube, no line, come right in.
There you go.
Yeah, you gotta,
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong about having a beer before you got to go somewhere.
No,
True.
At 4 o'clock on a Tuesday.
No.
nothing wrong with that.
at all.
Not a
On any
thing.
day.
Yeah,
On any
If
day.
it ends in Y, it's a day to drink.
exactly.
We also
Yes.
agree.
Why?
with
Because I want to.
this. Correct.
That's it.
Is it for a cause? Yeah, because.
Because
I
I'm
like
thirsty.
beer.
So, what's some other positive things happening with the guild?
That's a really good question. I think that we have joined forces in a way that we have like galvanized ourselves in a way that we haven't before. Now we're a much stronger guild. We've got I think like 75 of our breweries out of the 120 here in Connecticut are part of our guild, which is awesome.
And that's the highest it's ever been, right?
I think it's the highest it's ever
Yeah.
been.
That's nice.
Primarily because it's the most breweries.
Yeah.
But it is, and of course, 12% counts for
What,
more.
6,
Yeah, so
7?
they're not technically.
Yeah.
So you just add 6 more in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's we are all in communication all the time. We are treating each other with kindness all the time. I feel like together we're sticking together a lot more.
Yeah.
So in that respect, I feel like there's a lot of positivity. It's just the economy
That's the drag
Yeah.
right now.
or what people can spend their money on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was a big fan of the app.
Of the trail,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The trail. That coming back?
not as such.
Okay.
So because we are just a 501c nonprofit.
Nonprofit, yeah.
We weren't at least when I came in, there was no money to be able to give out prizes or sustain an app that costs $500, $600 a month to sustain.
Wow.
You have to pay.
So-
You have to pay monthly for an app.
It was the host
The host. Or
what do you call it, servers or
server,
whatever.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're paying for like a membership for that to all
Gotcha.
happen and all that to be, and then of course we had a bulk mailer system. So like at the end of every quarter, I guess
Yeah.
some of those emails were being sent to this mailer. So then you'd be paying the postage on that, plus
Yeah.
the merch, plus then the fees to do the mailing, and it ended up that if we had sent everybody who's on the app $20,
Yeah.
we would have, But there were a lot of people I knew even that were like, we didn't get our things on the app, the stuff that we had signed up for,
Right.
the prizes or whatever.
I worked really hard to get my cooler, man.
So here's what you should know is that there are merch pallets left over, and if you didn't get something,
You were very kind and already sent it to me.
oh, I did.
You did.
Look at that. I tried
See?
to make it right. I
See?
tried to make it right with
Tried to make it
everybody.
right, absolutely. I reached out to you and said, hey, is there anything you can do? And you said, give me a few months. I'm trying to make heads or tails of these things.
Yeah.
And then you messaged me and said, I just want to let you know that your cooler is in the mail. And a couple weeks later, I got my cooler and I did a happy dance. And I was like, yeah, I got that cooler. It took me a few years, but I got that cooler.
I'm really
You
sad.
made it right, but you made it right. And that was like
Yeah.
one of the top things. And again, it's not that I wanted the little tchotchke stuff, but
That's not the point.
after hitting, 75, I think it was 75 breweries for the cooler.
Yeah. You were on a mission and you
I
were
was on a
promised
mission.
something.
Yeah.
And I believe that a lot of people prior to me coming in said, it's a free app. Nobody gets things for free. Free.
Mm-hmm.
Why does anybody care? And I was like, no. They worked for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
They worked for it.
Nothing is technically free.
And, right. And so we're not a marketing company,
Yeah.
right? and there's not a lot of funds to be able to put towards those things.
Right.
But I will tell you that there probably are ways that we could put something together that would look more like a passport.
Yeah.
We did put out the experiences book. I don't know if you got the experiences book, but that is like a personal log of your journey, and it's train. Should we?
Yep.
Pause? Train.
Sorry, I said I wasn't going to do that anymore.
So, but we did put out the experiences book, and that was supposed to be like a personal log of your travels. It wasn't specifically connected to Connecticut breweries. You can put any beer in there. Good.
I'm laughing because my son still breaks it out if we're going to a new brewery.
He'll
Break out his
break it out.
experience book. All right, Mom, ready to go?
Yeah.
Brian, put that thing away. You should know by now. How many breweries have I taken you to, rookie? But he loves it. He loves being able to. I want to know what I like, what I don't like.
Yeah.
I can see that.
It's something interactive. And the first half of the book is all, rate the beer.
Yeah.
The last half of the book is all rate the brewery kind of stuff. And it's like, it's very stupid. Tiny tic-tac-toe and try to draw the logo and...
Now we know why Brian likes it.
But it was supposed to be something more fun and interactive.
I liked it.
Yeah.
It's like, how many tap lines do they have? Or what was the weather like that day?
Count the tap.
Who did you drink with? And then at the very end, you've got a list of all of the breweries in the back. You've got the different beer styles. You've got the different glassware. All of that's in there.
It was all in one.
You could do like a digital version of that experience book. And then that way, when people are planning their brewery trips, they're seeing other people's feedback. So it's kind of like a Yelp for breweries.
I believe Untapped might already have this covered.
Yeah, they might.
But not specific for Connecticut.
No.
And not everyone...
Do you know somebody who would like to fund it? Because I would be
the-
more than
that's
happy
the thing,
to.
I think Brando just got a lottery ticket.
That $530 million? Can you do?
I think it was. It was.
Yeah.
It was 530 million.
Could
I
you?
just do
You
it
mean
for
my,
fun.
do you mean my ideas are not free for people?
No.
Nope.
That's unfortunate.
The
So
idea is free, but the
That's it.
implementation of it is.
So I'm looking forward to it this year. It's a lot more space. We are including
Yes.
some vendors this year, which we didn't have
nice.
last year.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like we're craft, but there's also a lot of other types of craft.
Yep.
And because there's more space, I just thought that would be a really great thing for us to have.
Can you name any of the vendors?
I
secret.
can't. I don't think I can name any of the names of the vendors, but they've got a lot of different. We got woodworking vendors. We've got like jewelry vendors. We've
Nice.
got people who do like bespoke blankets. We've got. I just feel like things that are beer adjacent.
Yeah,
type
yeah,
of
yeah.
things. Things that you can use that
Whilst
are kind of
drinking.
crafty. Yeah.
While you're drinking.
Or things that people will most likely buy after they've had 5 samples.
I will
Like,
tell
ooh,
you,
yeah.
women here. Women, you have all the buying power.
True.
We know.
True.
Yeah, for
That is
facts.
true.
We know that your guy has brought you there to be a designated driver. They don't realize what you're going to drink on the day. We know. Also, we also know that when you're there, you're in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
Yep.
saw it last year.
Yep.
It's incredible. So last year was the first year you could sell beer to go at a festival.
Yep.
So we did that. Everybody the brewers brought like what they were most proud of.
Yeah.
But there were a few breweries who brought fruited sours. All gone.
Yep.
Transcend. Yep.
All gone.
Yeah, Eric killed it that day.
Yep.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And it's not because there was a lot of guys with buying power. It was the women that were like,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm going to take this home. I'm going to have it
Yep.
the next day.
Actually, I'm bringing my wife this year to this one, too.
I can't wait.
Because she's never been to the Brewers Fest. I've taken to some home brew fests.
Yeah.
And this will be her first, because this is this will be her first actual beer fest. No, because I'm thinking Rising Pint is, because Rising Pint's on her birthday.
Oh, boy.
Happy birthday.
Brewers Guild was
Drink
on mine.
beer.
Brewers Guild?
No, my wife's.
Oh, for real?
My wife's. Yeah. Last year.
Oh, yeah, that was right. That was her birthday.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll have a story
We'll loop back
later.
to that
Yeah,
story.
we'll have a story later. But yeah, so this will be her first actual like brew fest that she'll go to, and it's mostly because Eric will be there. And
Yep.
she loves.
She loves Eric.
Yeah,
I
she's a
mean-
transcend fanatic. Yeah.
Yeah. They're growing too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the new place.
Yeah, they're growing too. Everybody's trying
Yes.
what they can.
Yep.
Yes.
Do
Right?
what you can.
Yeah.
Doing what they can.
I mean, Tox's. I can't wait for Tox's new spot. That's,
Yeah, that's
gonna be
gonna be
nice. Yeah.
Mike is amazing. He'll
Yeah, I
he'll
love
do
Mike.
fine wherever he
Oh
is.
yeah.
Yeah, I love Mike.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to see how this year, 2 years kind of changes things in the
Yeah.
landscape of our industry. But like I said, I would like everybody to be successful.
Yeah.
I will do what I can to support that for
Good.
sure.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
And when you come up with, or if you need us to post anything, repost anything, we can make a video on why they should write, email, contact.
Just let us know.
You know,
I think
We're-
if you care about the community, you should definitely
Yeah.
reach out to your representatives and senators because they are the ones that can actually make change.
yeah,
You know, I've learned a lot about how the legislative process works, and it is not simple or straightforward, and that what you're asking for, no matter what you're asking for might be common sense or something that seems like it's no big problem, but it will inevitably affect another group or several
Yeah.
groups of people. So you have to think about, you know, how to make it good for everybody.
devil's advocate, everything.
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 Yeah. You push one
Agreed.
thing. Yeah. I had my middle child, Juliet. She's phenomenally smart. But she is in a social studies class right now, history class, that she had to come up with her own bill. She's telling me
Oh wow,
That's a good idea.
That's
she had
That's
to
a
come
good
up
idea.
with a bill, and she was telling me, oh my God, I got to come up with a bill for class this week. I go, guess what I did? Yeah. I also had to come up with a bill for class. Yeah. But she wanted to do like mental health, you know, an initiative in the schools to help children. And I go, I love that you're trying to help people. Now think about all the people who are going to be like, absolutely not. You can't talk about our personal business at school and the HIPAA and the this and the that and I just thought to myself, I would have never said this 2 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
But now I'm in a spot where I'm like, I see what you want to achieve. Now be realistic.
It's actually not that far off from a lot of work going into mental health in schools. There's
Yeah.
a lot of focus on that.
Yeah.
I've been more involved in legislation over the past 3 or 4 years since COVID as a nurse, and it's especially in the school system,
Yeah.
Daunting.
the process is ridiculously slow. You do not have the support of the people because you don't have the money. Like you're not, like you think about, you know, those old fat cats and, you know, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And you think about all of those ridiculous little statements there. And it's true. You watch it. Like they can have all the legislative days and your voice matters and all of that.
All the
but
common
it's
sense put in front of them.
all of the facts, the common sense, the everything. But a large group of people sit around and know all of the like pathways and intricacies and how it connects and impacts everyone else. And that's, you know, whether or not they're going to bring it out to the people.
Right. Right. I testified this year on the Association Health Plan bill, which is not a brewery initiative, but I testified about it. Essentially, they're saying that they would like associations, like our Brewers Guild, to be able to have the buying power to get a like healthcare
Yeah.
instead of like a small business. It's like an
Yeah.
association health
Yep.
plan. And last year we went. I testified about this as well. I was like, I would love to be able to give everybody good quality healthcare
Yeah.
with the buying power that we need. And it just, I watched all the people talk about it, and then I was like, I didn't even think that would be a problem. But they said that if you put good, healthy people, if you take them out of the ACA, then it will only leave sick people in the ACA, in the Obamacare.
Yeah.
Right? And they were like, it will be a hyperbolic. It'll be a death
Yeah.
spiral. Everybody will be dying, you know, because insurance works in one way. The health you pay in,
Yep.
and it pays for the sick people.
Yeah.
That's how.
Right.
No matter how,
No
whether
matter-
it's a business,
no matter,
whether
that's how it,
that's how it
the
works.
healthy people pay for the sick people.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how, no matter if it's private or public or whatever.
Right.
Right. So they were like, we don't want people taking out of the ACA. And that was the biggest concern. So they brought it back again this year. They've done some tweaks to it. They've put caps on it, right? That you have to have a bond or you have to have less people. So the Small Business Association has, 200,000 people in it. That's a different realm.
Yeah.
But the brewery employees, there's only 2,200 people working in breweries in Connecticut. That is like the size of a small, larger employer.
Yeah.
Right?
There's dealerships that have more.
Right.
There's car dealerships that have more employees than that.
Right. So, but we have no buying power if we were to just go. It's actually cheaper if we tell our employees, like, just go get health insurance through the ACA.
Wow.
Through Connecticut because it's cheaper for the individual than it is for the business to provide it, which is horrible for us. We would love to take care of our employees.
God bless America.
But I found it interesting
I will
that
not drink to that.
you forget how many things it impacts.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It's the one little thing that you want to change has a ripple effect. It's like throwing the stone in the pond.
Right.
You know?
And that's the same thing that we're trying to do here with the distributors. We're trying to make this change, and they're seeing, maybe far down the line that something bad could happen to their businesses, and they see how many people they employ and the families that they have to support, and they're looking at it going, okay, well, we can't make these changes. That'll bring everybody down on our end. And we're like, well, we just want our businesses to stay afloat.
We just want to sell beer, man.
Yeah.
I know, and it seems so simple.
I know.
It seems so, like,
When you break it
logical.
down,
Yeah.
Yeah, it does affect a lot of people. So we're trying to, get the point across that the consumer really has the power here. They really do have the power to change this. More so than the breweries, more so than the distributors, because in the end, what the consumer wants, what our guests want when they come in here, that's what we have to give them.
Yep.
And if they want our beer, we want to be able to provide it to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
So you heard that.
Yes.
Please pay attention to the legislative agendas.
Can't do it without your help.
Nope.
We have a website if you want to go to it. It's givemecraftbeer.com.
Go to it.
Givemecraftbeer.com, and that will take you to a grassroots campaign where you just type in your name and your address, and it will populate an email and send it straight out to your representative and senator with all the information needed.
We did it.
Wow.
We did it. Yeah. We all shared it on our all our socials.
Are all social.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
We were popping on the grams.
Do it again. Share it with your friend.
Yeah. Yeah. Go out, share it. Send it more than once.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for the whole year, because we got a year now to lead up
we
to
have
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hit the ground running. Let's go.
Well, thank you very much
Absolutely.
for having us.
Yeah.
And we appreciate
We got a
the
few dead
hospitality.
bodies here on the table.
Yeah.
Yep.
Slow.
Happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
It's what we do.
Shenanigans and debauchery.
Yeah.
One of the many services we offer.
Yes.
We drink your beer and leave empty glasses.
I like it. It's good ideas. But you're welcome. You're absolutely welcome. You can be here anytime. Love having you. Thank you for taking the time to even ask these questions.
Absolutely.
To think about our industry. We do really want to stay.
And we want you.
We want you
Yes.
to
Yeah.
stay. That's the most important
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
And they
I
all
mean-
need your help.
Right.
Yeah.
No matter how good you think they're doing, they could be doing so much better with, and we're not, go out and drink responsibly and enjoy a pint or two. However, really help them along with the legislative changes and go to the craft, say it one more time for me.
GiveMeCraftBeer.com.
GiveMeCraftBeer.com.
Yes.
And get your letters in. You see your legislative people out and about at any shindigs and events. Mention it to them. Really, Uncle Ned Lamont really loves his beer.
Yes.
He does. He's come here.
Yeah, Uncle Ned.
Uncle
Yeah.
Ned.
He's a beer man. That's why I don't understand why this is so hard. Uncle Ned, help us out.
Well, in the grand scheme of all the
He's
problems.
not really my uncle, just for the record.
In the grand scheme of all the problems.
I know.
Maybe breweries are not at the top of his list.
Should be. Should be.
It's okay. Take care of what you got to take care of. But also,
it's what we care about.
Yes. Yes. We just want to make it what you care about.
Yeah.
it doesn't take much to make a change.
Right.
I will be very clear about that. it doesn't take a lot of effort to make a change. All it takes is lending your voice and support behind it, because one more voice means that there's a cacophony growing. There's a loudness to the accumulated voices. That's what we need. One more voice, one more voice, one more voice.
Absolutely. Don't wait till next year.
No.
Let's do it now.
Yeah.
Show your voice.
Keep doing it. Absolutely.
I like it.
And
dig
buy
it.
tickets to the Beer Fest, because that
Yes.
helps us.
Yes.
420.
Buy tickets to the Beer
Come
Fest.
see us at the Beer Fest.
Yep.
420.
And that you can find at Connecticut.beer, right?
Connecticut.beer.
You'll
Yep.
be able to find tickets to that
Yeah.
there.
There you
And
go.
if you see us, say hi.
Please.
Make sure you
Especially
say
this
hi.
one.
Yeah.
She did a lot of work to get this up and running.
Don't say hi to me that day. No. If
That
you
is a
see
bus-
me,
yeah.
just run in the other
That's a
direction.
business day.
Yeah, that's a busy day
Business
for you.
day.
Yeah.
No, you can definitely say hi.
Just smile and wave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smile and wave.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hi, Rachel.
Don't ask me where your sashes are this year, though.
No, not
No.
yet. Not this one. We'll get them.
We'll get them.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We
It's
will
so
be
good
back
to
again.
have you here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what we do.
Yeah.
I'll do it for Mike.
Yeah.
Thank
There
you.
we go.
I'll get them. I'll get them.
And as always,
Drink responsibly. Stay wobbly. We'll catch you on the next one.
deuces.
Deuces!